Okay. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Before we start our physical practice, just a couple things that you have to remember is to listen to your own body, because we're all obviously born with different joints and bones and muscles, and who knows what has happened to us in our lives that have affected us today. So really listen to what you need. Don't do anything that hurts. You should know this. I'm just reminding you, no hurts, no pains. Yeah, there should be some work involved, but not where you can't breathe deeply. So you can always breathe deep and get your breath. So if you want to back off, back off. If you want to take a break, take a break. The nice thing about being at home is if you have to go to the bathroom, you can go to the bathroom, right? So whatever you need, get what you need. All right, and then what I just wanted to mention to you before we start our practice was really just to pay attention to your physical body and the sensations that you're having. I was reading about frustration in the body earlier and just how it collects in our tissues, right? I've heard many teachers say your issues are in your tissues. So I wanted to read this to you before we start. And it says, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Frustration collects in the body. Many of us feel it in the shoulders, the neck, the low back, and the hips. Problems in the shoulders represent irritability and resistance to change. Issues in the back can be related to some repression or restriction in your life, or the feeling of carrying the weight of the world. Repressed anger creates tension in the neck as you force your feelings down your throat instead of saying what you want to say. You can literally experience a pain in the neck from something or someone who makes you angry. Hips are related to general frustration. Notice the person who often stands with hands on their hips. It's a gesture of feeling frustrated and not in control. And so basically it's saying through a balanced asana practice, what we're practicing here, we can really work on those things so that moving our physical body changes our emotional body and vice versa, right? You go to counseling, therapy, right? It definitely works things out. And then maybe you're like, oh, my neck doesn't hurt anymore. So it kind of goes both ways and they're connected to each other. So today I want us to really tune into any frustration in your body. And we'll start doing that this morning with some breath. So let's close the eyes wherever you are on your mat. If you're by yourself, getting much needed me time, or if you're with a buddy, which is also just as nice. With eyes closed, I want you to notice how you're breathing without changing it. But don't change it yet, just notice how you're breathing. Is there movement in your belly? Is there movement in your chest? Do you feel like you're not getting much breath in, or do you feel a lot of breath? Right? There's no rules and there's no right answer. All right, so wherever you noticed your breath in your body, I want you to begin to deepen it a little bit, right? So if you have no movement in the belly, let's get the breath down low into the abdomen. So on your breath in, feeling like the belly just kind of hangs out, right? No one's here, who cares, right? And then on the exhale, it gently comes back in toward your spine. So it's okay if you have movement in the chest, right? Our lungs are up in there too, but trying to let the diaphragm descend and really inhale, full deep inhales, and exhale, squeezing out the stale air from last night. So keep it going at your own pace. Now, as you're deepening your breath here, everyone, tune into that frustration piece. If you don't want to tune into frustration, right? But you want to analyze your body and see if you notice tight spots where the frustration might be stuck. Right, literally head to toe, notice any tension. Okay, if you've identified some spots, we're going to use our superpowers, right, of visualization. Imagine you're drawing your breath into that tight spot or spots, and you can just see the spot untying, like a knot, right? A knot becomes untied. So breathe your breath into that spot and just see it loosen. Just a couple more times like that. Inhaling and exhaling. And taking just about 1 or 2 more breaths there, loosening up all the sticky spots in the body. And then just remembering that we're going to be mindful of those spots today as we move through our physical practice. All right, guys, so we're going to keep your deep breath through the whole class. If you forget, don't worry, I'll remind you. But for now, you can keep the eyes closed, but we're going to start to move. So make sure that your posture feels nice and tall, that your tailbone is sinking into your mat or whatever you're sitting on, the crown of your head lifting to the sky and shoulders softening behind you. And then from there, check your cervical spine is tall. We're going to start with the neck. I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of pain in my neck. So drop one ear to the shoulder, that same side. Right? And always using our mindfulness. What is happening in the side that's getting stretched? If it's super tight, you're just going to stay right here. If it's not super tight and you can handle a little bit more, you're going to draw the opposite arm away from your body, like you're just reaching toward the floor next to you. Okay, so kind of like at an angle, and then make a soft fist with that same arm and circle your wrist. Just so get that little love to the wrist joint and change the sensation in the neck. Circle the other direction if you haven't yet with that wrist. And then we'll take that hand back to the lap and take the head back up. That's all. So do the same thing, other side, opposite ear drops down to the other shoulder. You can always stop here and don't rush into the next thing yet. Like, okay, how does this feel? Is this okay? If it's not, I'm just going to sit into it and breathe my breath into the sticky spot. But if it is okay, then my opposite arm is going to reach away. See how that feels. And if it feels okay, you can make those little wrist circles. Switch directions of your wrist circles. Right. And another thing in quarantine is being on the computer a lot and the phone. So this is much needed. All right, relax that hand to the lap, take your head back on top. And then we'll do a chin to the chest to the back of the neck. So drop your chin to your heart center. Lift the heart though and drop your shoulders behind you, pulling the belly gently in. There, that spine is supported. Breathe deep. All right, gang, lifting the chin back up so it's parallel to the ground. If your eyes are still closed, you can crack them open now. And then we'll just work a little bit of the back body. So we're going to take the arms to a T. Keep the shoulders down. And then sweep your arms in front of you, bending your elbows like you're going to give yourself a big bear hug. Right, so grabbing to the shoulders. If you can get to the shoulder blades, go for it, but don't hurt yourself. If you've got shoulder issues, be careful. The shoulders are always drawing down the back and belly's pulling in. And now if you can breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Right, because our rib cage is not just in the front, right? It sweeps all around the body. So imagining that, or not imagining, feeling that the back rib cage moves away from you on the inhale and back towards your heart on the exhale. Nice job, everybody. So big inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out to a T. Check which arm's on top though, because we're going to switch it. Big inhale and then exhale, come back, switching the other arm on top. And just doing the same thing. And I was nice and gentle. I got some goodies planned for us. Don't worry, we'll get it all in today. So breathing here. Literally feel your ribs. Stay in the moment. That's how we're going to get rid of our stress, staying in the present. All right, ladies, inhale, unopen those arms, sweep them out to the side, and then we're just gonna let the arms fall down by the side. All right, we'll do a little front of the chest. We'll do a little collarbone stretch. So from here, I want you to interlace your hands behind your back. And now take those interlaced hands over toward one hip. Doesn't matter which one. Got it, perfect. Now this floppy elbow here, I want you to reach that floppy elbow in toward the elbow behind you, like it's gonna meet it, even though it won't meet it. Right, so there's activity in this floppy arm to reach in towards you, feeling the stretch hopefully in the collarbone there. And then also check if you lost your posture in your low back. So feeling still like the belly pulls in toward the spine so you're not aggravating the low back SI joint. Breathe deep here. That's it. That's all you gotta do is breathe deep. One more deep breath. All right, we're gonna release the stretch, but keep the hands interlaced behind you. Take a breath at center. And let's go to the other hip. So those same fists, that same fist goes to the other hip. Pull in that floppy elbow to meet the one behind you. Breathe deep. So again, we can focus on that low rib cage and the back body because our forearm is behind us and your forearm can press into those low ribs. Breathe as deep as you can. Stay in the moment. I know your brain's gonna wander at some point during class, so just bring it back to the stretch. All right, everybody, releasing those hands. We're gonna shake those arms out next to us. And one more little side thing before we switch it up quite a bit. So inhaling the arms over the head, interlacing the fingers. Take the palms to face up to the sky. Draw your shoulders down your sockets. It's okay if you have a bend in the elbow. You can go for it and get those arms straight too. Just listen to your shoulders and what they need. So with both shoulders rooting down, belly in, we're just gonna lean over to one side and really wake up the waist and the side ribs and the intercostals. So what happened to your hip on the opposite side? It wanted to go with you, but try and root down through both sides of your pelvis there. All right, big inhale, everybody, to come up, and then exhale right to the other side. If you need a break, take it. That feels good, right? Breathing deep into those ribs. All right, inhale, we're coming back up. Exhale, relaxing the arms. Perfect. All right, we're gonna take the legs out in front of us here and just go ahead and shake out the legs a little bit. I'm gonna activate the belly if it's not already. So bend your knees with your feet on the floor in front of you. You're gonna hold your hands underneath your backs of the thighs, right? So shoulders are dropping down. If you have SI problems, make sure you're on a blanket, or maybe you wanna back off on this pose, right? So heart is lifted super high, shoulders back and down. Attach a little string to your sternum into the ceiling so that you're not gonna slouch, and then see if you can balance between sitting bones and tailbones as your feet float off the ground. Okay, so got that, check. If you don't have it, no big deal. But if you have it, circle your ankles. Good, getting them warmed up, circle other direction. Perfect, now relax those ankles. See if you can get your feet to knee height. If not, no big deal. Look at everybody. All right, everyone's at a different level here. I love it. Stay right here, or let go of your legs and your arms just come out to rest parallel to the ground. If that's too much, grab back on. Woo! Breathe. Some of you can straighten your legs. If that's you, go for it. I'm gonna back off today. Breathe. I know it's a lot. I know, one more breath. Grab hold of your legs, take your feet to the ground and then extend them out in front of you. Great job. Shake out those legs a little bit. All right, we're gonna rebend the knees and take them out to the side. So that strength pose is over. We're just gonna do a little the hip opener here in our Baddha Konasana. So knees are out to the side, soles of the feet together, inner edges of your feet open like a book to release hips and knees. And then of course, you're always finding that good posture. So if this is crazy for you, you can always support on the outsides of your legs. But if you're okay, you're okay. If this is nothing, I know some people are super flexible here. You could take a block in between your feet or something in between your feet to increase the stretch. I don't need that, but you can take it if you need it. All right, so here we are. Back is flat, shoulders are down. If you feel stretch, great. If you don't, start to hinge forward at your hips, but keep your back from rounding. So flat back, shoulders away from ears, heart poking out in front of you. And just increasing that inner thigh stretch in the back and the hips. Breathe deep. So I know I have a lot of instruction. Are you able to just tune into your physical body while I'm talking, right? Breathe. All right, friends, big inhale, take this back up. Take your time. Nice. All right, we're gonna transition to hands and knees pose. So however you can flop your knees over and come to a table position. So finding that spot where your knees are under your hips and your hands are right under your shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And actually, we're gonna go to child's pose from here. We're gonna measure our down dog in child's pose. So you're gonna get your hips to your heels and your forehead to the floor. If your forehead doesn't reach the floor, you can grab a block or a blanket or a pillow, something like that. So let's do a lazy child to start. Lazy child meaning letting the forearms and elbows actually touch the ground, right? And so that you feel kind of like a bump on a log right now. So there's no effort in your body. So kind of just, I don't know, I relish that. Some people are more go, go, go. I'm like, get me out of here. So just see, how do you feel in this pose? Right, no right or wrong answer. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice if it's harder or easier to breathe. Remember to listen to yourself. So if this is a nice restful posture for you and you want to take a break from our standing poses, you can come back to this pose. But now we're going to make it more active child's pose. So for active child's pose, you want to feel as if your hips are going as far back as they can towards your feet. And then you want to extend the arms out in front of you where the elbows pop off the ground, but not so much where you pulled your shoulders out of your sockets, right? So you got to draw your shoulder blades back down toward your hips. Good. All right, gang. So keeping your hands at shoulder distance apart, we're going to lift the hips back up. So you're on hands and knees. And now if your knees are under your hips, your hands are probably a little bit forward to your shoulders, and that's good because that's good down dog placement. So you're going to tuck your toes underneath, start to unbend those knees, lifting hips up and back for your first downward dog of the morning, or maybe you have done downward dog before we were together. If this is too much, come back to table. If you need to pedal your feet, pedal your feet. So feet are hip distance, hands are shoulder distance. Fingers spread wide and press through the knuckles of the hands. Don't jam into that wrist. So just a couple more breaths here, down dog. You can catch up. Everybody's looking good. Hips are up and back as high as possible. And then from here, take your knees back to the mat. I just want to make sure our spine is really ready for the next part of class. Hands under shoulders. Now pull them in a little bit. We're going to do a couple cat-cows. So on the inhale breath, let your belly sink to the floor, tilting your tail and your heart up, pushing the ground away from you. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop your chin. So keep going, everybody. Inhale, letting the belly stretch to the floor like a hammock. And then exhale, like make a rainbow with your back. Press up. Go ahead, do that 2 more times on your own. Gotcha. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Do 1 more. Wherever you are, after this last exhale, just come to that flat back. All right, everybody there, great. We're gonna come back to down dog, tuck your toes, lift your knees and your hips. And then just look forward. You're gonna walk your feet to the front of your mat. From the front of your mat, you're gonna roll yourself up nice and slow so that you come all the way to mountain pose. Yep. Once you get up there, check your breath again and find your mountain. So if you haven't practiced mountain in a while, just remember feet are parallel to each other. They can be together or apart, doesn't matter. Feet are parallel, shoulders back and down. You just feel really tall. You feel like a mountain. Right, so draw your tailbone down into the ground, lift the crown of your head up to the sky, gentle tucking into the belly. And then everybody close your eyes just for a moment. I want to make sure you still have your breath. Right, so with eyes closed, feel the deep breath in the lungs. Perfect. All right. Keep focused on your breath and your body. When you start to think about what you have to do later or what happened yesterday, come back to the breath. All right. So we'll open the eyes. We just do a little teeny flow here that incorporates a chair. So when you're ready, you're going to sweep the arms up overhead. Good job. And then exhale, you're going to lean back just slightly, warming up the back a little bit more. You're coming straight back up to the sky. And then exhale, fall forward into a forward fold. You can bend your knees if you have sensitive back. On the inhale, sliding hands up the shins to come to a flat spine. Good. Exhale, refold into the legs. Bend the knees deeply and then inhale into chair. So just the upper body comes up, legs stay bent. And then exhale, mountain pose, arms down by the side, standing up. Perfect. You got it. So we're going to do that a couple more times. Ready? Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, leaning back slightly. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale to the half lift position. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, chair. And then exhale, mountain pose. All right, keep it going, guys. Inhale, up, arms sweep up to the sky. Exhale, leaning back ever so slightly. Inhale straight back up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale to the half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna hold this next one, bend the knees deeply. Inhale to chair and stay here, breathe deep. If you don't wanna stay here, it's okay. Come to mountain pose, we don't care. No one can see you except me. So do what you need to do. Breathe. Woo, holding the chair. If it's too much, come to mountain. We're gonna take one more full deep breath. No big deal, you got it. And then straightening the legs, letting the arms fall down by the sides in Tadasana. Very good. Breathe here for a moment. All right, okay. So if you are standing facing the front of your mat, let's go ahead and step the left foot back. I'm probably gonna look opposite of you for a few minutes, but that's okay. So we're gonna open the hips to the left side of our mat, peeking that your right heel lines up with your left arch, pretty much. No big deal. You got it. So feel that your hips are facing that left side of the room too, but not to sacrifice your knee. Right knee more important. So let's bend that right knee, or whichever knee you want to bend, and keep the knee tracking over the ankle. So you should be able to see your right big toe, right? Yep, check. And then check that not all your weight went into your right leg, right? Check that both legs are taking equal weight, pretty much, right? And then relax your shoulders, float your arms parallel to the floor, and look out over that front hand, that right hand if you're following along with my rights and lefts. And I know I look opposite of you if you're looking at the screen, but that's okay. We can figure it out. So breathing here, warrior two, we're gonna flow with a little bit of movement in the arms and legs. So on the inhale breath, I just want you to straighten your leg and take your arms over your head. That's it. Exhale, come back to warrior two. So rebending and arms come down. Inhale, straightening it all up. You got it. Exhale, sinking back to warrior two. One more like that. Inhaling, straightening leg, arms rise. Exhale, sink. Hold warrior two for another breath. That's looking good. And then we'll move right into triangle here. So front leg straightens. Don't lock that knee though. Keep knee safe. Reach right fingers forward like you're gonna try and reach something out in front of you. And then keep your heart lifted. You're just gonna tilt to your chest. So that bottom hand can hold onto your leg. It can hover by your leg if you need extra work. Or if you have a block and you need a block, you can grab your block. Also, if you're having shoulder issues, go ahead and drop your back arm and rest it. Not a big deal. So you make your triangle any way you want to make your triangle. If you need extra work, you could even take this bottom arm out toward the front of your mat for extra abs. You don't have to do that. It's just an option. That's crazy. So wherever you are, press into your feet. Everybody inhale yourself back up to warrior two. And then relaxing the hands. All right, you're gonna take a peek forward. We're just gonna step this back foot in to meet the front foot. Something. So we're gonna take the right foot back now into warrior two. I'm just gonna switch sides on my mat. So if your other foot steps back, opening your hips to that side of your mat, now bending your left knee if you're on the same side as me. All right, so wherever you're at, float arms back. Virabhadrasana 2, you're gazing out over the bent knee side. All right, draw your belly in, drop your tailbone. And then here we go with the vinyasa. You're on an inhale, straighten both legs as the arms come overhead. You can even touch palms together if you want. And exhale, sink back to warrior two with arms down. Just 3 of these, right? Inhaling up, exhaling, sink. Inhaling up, exhaling, sink. Holding this one, this third one, breathe here, warrior twos. And now we're gonna straighten that front leg, reach those front fingers out in front of you like you're trying to reach something, and just tilt into triangle, trikonasana. So finding your perfect triangle. Notice if your top shoulder wants to pop in front of your back shoulder, it does, right? So try and line up your shoulders, even if that means coming higher up toward the ceiling, right? I think everybody wants to touch the floor in triangle, but that's not the goal of the pose. You wanna keep your spine in line in the same plane as your pelvis. It's looking good. Remember, if you need extra work, bottom arm hovers or comes out. If you don't need it, don't take it. All right, wherever you are, inhale yourself up to warrior two. And this exhale, actually I want you to spiral your hands down to the front of your mat. We're gonna step the front foot back to downward facing dog. Holding in down dog for a breath or two. Yep. All right, girl, let's do this. Let's drop the body into a plank pose. So you're gonna come forward, reaching through the heels. Remember, if you wanna drop your knees, go ahead. We're all gonna drop the knees in just a moment anyway. So breathing in plank. Notice the frustration in the body in plank, right? All right, wherever you are, drop the knees to the mat, untuck the toes, and lower yourself to the belly. I came across this shoulder stretch this weekend that I absolutely love, so I wanted to share it with you. So briefly, we're not done with our standing poses yet, but if you could draw your arms out to the sides, tent your fingers in line with your shoulders about, chest height. Draw your shoulders down your back. Press the tops of the feet into the mat and the pelvis. And just use a little back to lift the heart. So we're here. Get this, is my favorite part. You guys are looking good, the ones of you I can see. We're gonna dip one shoulder down in front of us. That makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, peek at what I'm doing on the screen. So basically inhaling and then exhaling, dipping one shoulder to come forward, down toward the center of your mat. Inhaling, come out, and exhale, dip the other shoulder down to the center of your mat. Oh, it feels so good. Inhaling up, and just switch sides on the exhale. Everybody, if you don't like it, just resting on your belly and waiting for us to finish. All right, so wherever you are, we're gonna come back with fingers tented, and then we're gonna make a little pillow with our hands and rest the forehead on your hands. Let your feet splay out so there's no effort in your body. Good, and now keep resting, but bend both your knees so your feet are in the air. Now windshield wiper your legs back and forth. They go to one side, then they go to the other side. Yep, I see little feetsies on my screen, so cute. All right, breathing. All right, we're gonna pause there. You're gonna let those feet come back to the ground. Draw your hands by your armpits and just help yourself up to a table, hands and knees. We're gonna go right into child's pose, so stretch out that back. So hips to the heels, forehead to the mat. Hold your breath. Again, come back up to table, hands and knees. We're gonna tuck our toes underneath and find downward facing dog. All right, gazing forward, we're gonna let's step the left foot to the front of the mat. We're gonna drop the right heel down and in at about 45 degrees and stand up. Big inhale so you don't get dizzy because we were upside down for a while. Okay, we made it up. How are you feeling, okay? Okay, so from here, we're gonna find warrior one leg. So if hands are on hips to start, we're gonna bend that front knee, that left knee, I think, right? If you bend that knee and your back foot pops up, just hop your back foot in a little bit. So I want you to feel grounded in both feet. Good. And then we'll sweep the arms up to the sky for warrior one. And if you've been having shoulder stuff, relax your arms and just holding warrior one. Notice your fingers. I know it sounds silly, but like, are they kind of relaxed and loose? I want you to imagine they're active. So shoot lightning bolts out your fingertips. Breathing here. So I've got some fun stuff planned. Do what you can do, and we'll just see what happens, okay? From warrior one, take your hands to your hips. I want us to shift the weight forward into this front leg. Basically, I'm gonna move back a little bit. Coming into a standing with the knee into the chest. So you're gonna shift your weight into the left foot, trying to stand up, pulling your right knee up in front of you. Okay, it's not over yet. So once you've got that, left hand to right knee, right arm out to the side. I'm gonna go like this so you can see me. And then start to twist your belly to the right as well. So coming into a standing twist, standing balancing twist. I know everybody's falling over, that's perfect. We're having fun, present moment. Breathe. You got it. Look at some of you are super steady, and it's okay if you're not. Breathe. All right, almost done. We're gonna untwist. Take your hands back to your hips, and then take that right foot back to warrior one. Yes, we made it. So before we leave, we're now gonna straighten your front leg. That left leg straightens. right? Heart lifts and start to fold to get more just of a stretch and less balance. So coming into pyramid or Parshvottanasana. So go down as far as you can with a flat back, and you should feel a stretch in that back of that front leg. If it's too much, come back up a little bit. If it's not enough and you need more, go ahead and round your spine over your leg and drop your hand. You don't have to add that part. Your body's gonna tell you where it needs to go. If you're down here or whichever version you're in, pull the left hip back and the right hip forward and just breathe. Nice, everybody, looking good. Just holding this pyramid pose, couple breaths. All right, friends, get ready. Inhale, peel yourself back up to stand. And then we'll just step the back foot to meet the front foot. All right, so you're back in your mountain pose at the top of your mat. See how you're doing, right? Mentally, physically. If you feel fine, great. Find your breath. That is your key point there. Find your breath. So you're back at the front of your mat. And now we're keeping the right foot in front and stepping the left foot back, or vice versa, wherever you are in your mat. Right, so we're starting with that warrior one pose. We're gonna bend that front knee, back leg is straight, hips are facing the front of your mat, draw your tailbone down, and sweep your arms up for Virabhadrasana. One, holding here, breathe deep. Feel a stretch in the front of your left hip flexor. If you don't, maybe you just got loose hips, and that's good, right? They say tight hips is where we store all our emotional junk. Fun. Breathe. Breathe, breathe. Here we go. So we're going to draw the hands back to the hips. Here comes that funky balance move. You can do this. You're going to shift your weight to your front foot. Use your core. Pull that back knee in and up in front of you. Yes. If you have to come relax, come relax. If you're okay here, opposite hand to knee. So most of us is right hand to left knee. Left arm goes out to the side. Look at a little focal point as you twist your belly to the left, taking your hand behind you. Ah, breathe. You got it. Untwist your body, untwist, untwist, taking hands to hips. Use your belly to step this left foot back behind you, warrior one. Good, hands are still on hips. Nice job, everybody. Straighten both legs without locking the knee, right? So engage the quads. Heart lifts tall, and we're finding that pyramid, so we're just folding at the hip hinges. Nothing crazy. And then just check in on your right leg. Is it okay? If it's okay, you can go deeper by rounding. And if it's not okay, just sit into the stretch. So just like we did in the beginning with the breath, imagine your breath zooming to your tight spot and starting to loosen it up. So stay in the moment. Breathe deep, pyramid pose. And we're almost done with our standing series. All right, we're going to ground through both feet, engage your abdominals, and inhale yourself to stand. Whew, nice, everybody. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. You're back in your mountain pose. Close your eyes again. We've got one more posture standing before we do some stretching on the mat. So find your Tadasana, eyes closed. And just check on your heart. Is your heart pumping? Check on your breath. Check in the sensations in your legs. You're just standing on one of them and stretching out. So see if you can literally feel tingling or energy in your legs. And then when you feel comfortable, you're going to reopen your eyes with a nice deep breath you still have. And work our little, we'll do a variation of tree. We'll do like a Karate Kid pose, especially because we already worked that knee balance in front. So arms can be wherever they want to be. Let's find mountain. You're feeling legs are super strong. Your abs are in. You're going to shift your weight to one of your legs and bend that knee. All right. Find a focal point too. You try not to look at me because I'm wobbling, but if you can find a spot on the floor that doesn't move, you're just going to bend that knee straight up in front of you. But you can go higher than knee height if you want, as long as the hip doesn't hike up with you. Keep the hips level. And then relax that ankle that's in the air. Okay. Now relax your wrists and raise your arms out to the side, maybe a little higher than shoulder height, so you look like Karate Kid. And you're just balancing here. And it's okay if we wobble, it's okay if we fall. Find your focal point. Feel the leg, how hard that is to support the whole body weight. And then very mindfully come back to your mountain pose, almost like it's graceful. Beautiful. That was really nice. All right, here we go. Guys, we're gonna go to the other side, switch legs. So bend that knee in front of you, find your focal point. Your breath will carry you, you have this. Your belly will help you as well. So finding that spot where you lift your knee up nice and high, relaxing your ankle, and maybe lifting your arms as well. Giving those arms a rest from typing, and texting, and scrolling. Breathe. One more breath. Beautiful, releasing down out of your mountain pose. Shake out anything you need to shake out. We're gonna come to sit on the mat with the legs outstretched in front of us. So take your time to come on down, get your water, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. Time we got. All right, we're good. We are good on time. I understand if people got scooched, you got scooched, that's all right. All right. I don't think anything crazy is going on. I haven't seen any signs, so we'll continue. So we're gonna work with Janushirshasana. Actually, I'm gonna sit to the side just for a few moments to explain, right? So we'll start with the left leg. We're just gonna bend the left knee in toward the body, and then we're gonna let the left thigh fall open to the side. So you've got your right leg straight, your left knee bent, and both sides of your seat and your glutes on the mat, right? So wiggle around, make sure they're both grounded. I'm gonna flex the right foot. Yep, everybody's good. Inhale those arms up to the sky. So a little twist in this pose. So take your belly to face your right leg. All right, good. All right, inhale deeply as the heart lifts, and then exhale, we're gonna fall forward over that right leg. It's okay if you don't reach your toes, no big deal. So just finding that spot where your heart is lifting, your spine is extending. If you need more, go ahead and round your spine over the leg. If you don't need more, don't do it. Okay, so holding here. Yeah. So holding here, Janushirshasana. So what happens in this pose is that left shoulder wants to lift a little bit. Just remind yourself to draw the chest level to the floor on both sides. All right, gang, we're gonna start to peel ourselves back up to sit with the upper body. Take your time, sit nice and tall. Great. Now this left knee, you're gonna take it to the ceiling, and you've got some options here. We're gonna move into a twist. So you can either keep this left foot on the inside of the right leg, or you can cross it over. And then some people like to bend the left knee too, and take that, I said left, I meant right. Take the other foot, the right foot towards the left hip, but you don't have to, it's just an option. I like to keep mine straight sometimes, so that's what I'm gonna do. You do whatever you want. Check you're not slouching, right? Your back is nice and tall, shoulders down. We're gonna grab hold of this left knee with the right hand. Left arm goes up to the sky. And now exhale as you twist your belly button to the left and draw your left hand behind your body on the floor. So you're twisting toward the knee that's in the air. Yep, that's it. Breathing deeply. Try and relax your face in a twist. So don't worry about your posture. I can see you. You look pretty good. It's the like emotional, mental reaction to your posture that I want you to be aware of. So do one more giant breath in this twist. Right, we're gonna untwist the belly. Nice and slow, everybody. We're not done yet though. So I know some of you had bent that bottom knee, and that's fine, you can keep it there. And some of us have the legs straight. It really doesn't matter. I just want us to move into a side lean in this pose. So releasing the knee with the hand, take one hand to the mat, doesn't matter which one because we're doing both sides, and then sweep the other arm up. You're just gonna lean over toward this hand on the ground, whichever one. Breathing, hopefully getting into the hips a little differently. I think it does work a little nicer with the bottom knee bent, but that's okay. And then coming back up out of the side lean, drop the other hand to the floor and go to the other side. Yep, that's it. All right, this arm comes up to the ceiling, releasing the hand to the floor. All right, friends, all you're gonna do is take this leg, unwind it, unwrap it, extend it out. The left leg is straight, shake out the tension in the legs. Perfect. Okay, right knee bends. Right hip open so the knee falls out to the side. Got it, Vinyasa pose. So here we are, feeling glutes grounded, right? Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky, lengthen your spine, your waist. You're gonna twist to the left and fall over that left leg. Okay, you don't have to touch your toes. If you do, you do. So holding here and breathing. If you feel crunched, you can always inhale and come up a little bit higher and readjust. You actually don't even have to round your spine, right? In this pose, you can stay up nice and tall and still feel the stretch, especially if you're flexing that left foot. Good, pretty good. Holding here, a couple more breaths. This is when it's nice if you have your music going in the background. Here. Take your time, everybody. Mindfulness in your spine as you peel yourself back up to sit. Perfect. We're going to add the twist now. So this right knee comes up to the ceiling. And it's your choice, foot on the inside of the leg, the outside of the leg, or on the outside and also bending the bottom knee in. Doesn't matter, whichever works. If you did bend that bottom foot, make sure that that glute is still on the ground. If not, re-straighten your leg. No big deal. Perfect. All right, so we're holding on to this right knee with left hand. Inhale your right arm up, tall spine. Exhale, twist your belly button to the right, hand behind your back. All right, so breathe in this twist. Find your mindfulness, find your breath. So as you're holding the twist, and it's, we hold these a little bit longer than our strengthening poses, notice where your brain is going. What does your mind want to go to? Don't judge yourself. We're human. We're supposed to think. But to get rid of some of our monkey mind, just come back to your pose. What are you feeling in the pose? Your organs feeling squished? Is your breath shallow or deep? And then get ready, everybody. We're going to come back around out of the twist. You can keep your legs as they are. If you want to try bending the bottom one, you can. We're going to add that side lean again. So again, doesn't matter which side you do first. Hand comes out to the side, opposite arm up and over. That's it. You can bend the elbow or you can reach the arm out to the side. It doesn't matter as long as the shoulder's not crunching your ear. All right, let's go up and over to the other side, everybody. Inhaling up and exhaling over. Big inhale takes you up. We'll relax that hand down by the side. And we're going to rewind out of this pose. If you took your bottom knee bent, you're going to straighten that leg first and then uncross the top one. Extend both legs out, shaking out those legs. Perfect. Nice. This looking good. We're going to lay down on the back, do a few poses before we relax. So go ahead and roll down onto the back. And just get there, right? That is the pose. Coming from seated to laying down. That's a pose, sure. So being mindful when you do that. And then once you get all the way down there, we're gonna pull both knees into the chest and wrap the hands around the legs. Release that low back. If you can, I want you to add some circles here with the knees. So we're just gonna circle around, massaging the low back. Nice. All right, we're gonna switch directions of our circles. All right, pausing there. Let's extend the legs straight to the sky and the arms straight to the sky. And I want you to circle the ankles and the wrists. Little dying bug pose. Speaking of dying bugs, I've had a lot of cockroaches peeking out in my kitchen lately. Switch directions of your ankles and wrists. All right, and then we're going to relax, taking the feet back to the floor. The knees are still bent. And now I want you to take the knees out to the sides. So dropping open where the soles of the feet come together, just like we did seated in the beginning of class. It's a little Baddha Konasana, reclining. If this is too intense on your inner thighs, put props underneath the outsides of your legs. Okay, so we just want to do a little check-in here. I want you to actually close your eyes. Let's see where your hands are. Okay. So if your hands are next to you with palms up to the ceiling, with eyes closed, I just want you to see how this feels. Now, with eyes still closed, take your hands face down on your belly. Right, change the shoulders a little bit, and also you can feel the belly move. So I want you to see how this feels. And now, whichever one felt better, that's the one I want you to do. Hands on belly or hands palms face up. There's no right or wrong answer. One more deep breath here. And then we're gonna draw the knees back together. Eyes can open up if you need them to, no big deal. So the knees are back together. And now we're gonna walk the feet away from the center, the midline. So the feet go to the edges of your mat. They could even get wider if you're tall. If you're short like me, they probably don't leave your mat. So the feet are wider than your knees. We're gonna go ahead and add some windshield wipers here, everybody. So the knees drop to the same side, then up and over to the other side. As long as you're not having pain in the knee, right? Go ahead and keep going. If you are, you can just rest your knees on each other. All right, when you're ready, I'm gonna pause the windshield wipers and have the knees just rest on each other. Just as we did in the beginning of class, guys, scan your physical body and ask it what it needs. So we're gonna move into relaxation, but if there's a pose or a stretch that you did not get and you really wanna squeeze in, and your body knows it, so you can go ahead and do that on your own. But if no, the answer is no, you're ready to relax, you're gonna come into Shavasana, which can be legs outstretched. If you have a sensitive back, you can keep your knees bent. If you're close to a wall, you could throw your feet up on a wall. So finding this comfortable spot where you can just let go for a little while, right? If you're near a bed or a couch, you can lay on that. So taking a few moments to situate, and I will walk you into Shavasana. For those of you who joined us a little later, I'm going to walk you into this relaxation, and then I'm just going to click to end the meeting so that you can stay as long as you need, right? So that you don't have to feel rushed, or if you have a meeting to go to, you don't feel bad that you have to leave. So finding a spot, a nice comfy spot. And now I want you to take a minute. I see it's hard to have a comfy spot when you have puppies climbing over you. But for those of us who don't, starting to kind of just feel like your body's gonna melt into the floor. So go ahead and let's just bring awareness to the very outside layer of us, like our skin. And just feel your skin kind of melt. And then bring awareness to your muscles. Okay, so all the muscles in the body, from the tiny little ones in the face to the larger ones in the thighs and the back, and the little ones in the feet. So every single muscle in your body is relaxing right now. We'll take it a step further and imagine your joints, or not imagine, but visualize your joints. And not only the joint, but all the stuff that's in there, the ligaments and the tendons and the fascia. And just see them working perfectly and relaxed. All the tension draining out of all your joints. Now everyone, visualize the bones in your body. We need those suckers, right? We gotta walk. We gotta sit up tall. We need those bones. So we're grateful for those bones. And they're supporting us. But right now, I want you to let them let go. Give them a break. And then lastly, going to the organs. Right? We touched on the skin, but your internal organs. So seeing your heart beating, very healthy. So all your organs working perfectly, but doing it calmly, doing their jobs in a nice, calm manner and relaxed. Your digestive system, your brain, everything inside you working perfectly and healthy. Try to let everything go, your jaw's relaxed. And I'm just going to read a passage before I close out. And you can, of course, stay in relaxation as long as you need. I'm just going to read today's passage from Journey to the Heart for May 19th. It's called, Don't Be Afraid of Making Mistakes. Don't be so afraid of making a mistake. That energy can create more mistakes. It can stop us from enjoying what we're doing. It can block us from creating freely and making something beautiful. Sometimes it's necessary and important to make mistakes, to fumble around and do something poorly so we can learn to do it better next time. No matter what we're doing or what we're learning, we have to start somewhere. Look back at the past. We learned by trying, stumbling, falling, getting back up, and trying again. But we wouldn't be where we're at if we hadn't begun where we were. Jump in, begin, and do the task as best as you can. Stop worrying about mistakes and let yourself do it as well as you can right now. If you do it wrong or poorly, you can do it over again. And when you do it in an attitude of love, you won't fail. You'll learn something new about yourself, life, and the task. Love yourself enough to try. Let yourself make mistakes. Tell yourself you don't have to do it perfectly. Let yourself have fun while you're learning. Start where you are and do what you can. Learning and getting better will happen from there. You may not always know the best way in the beginning, but if you keep trying, you'll quickly learn to tell when you're on track. Just take as long as you need in your relaxation pose. See you next time.